Okay. We're live. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn Family Ties does way better when they hire an Oscar winner. Who'da thunk?
And in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining us as always, Mr. Paul Packler. Paul, how's it going?
I'm good. Look at my chest hair. Oh, man, if you're not watching on YouTube right now, I feel sorry for you.
I think one needs it in high def to really appreciate your chest hair.
Needs a what, Corey?
It needs high def. You need because on this crappy camera, it looks like chest.
The brilliance of it doesn't
We'll
show.
spend some money. No, we'll spend some more money. This will be for season 4. We'll really bump it up.
Corey, how are you doing, man?
I am terrific. It's lovely, and you know what? I'm always in a good mood when we do an episode that pleases me.
This was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
before we get into it, guys, we gotta. Oh.
No, Scott, we're both champing at the bit to read this email. So here, I'll start. We've been discussing this whole season about Meredith Baxter's pregnancy. When was she pregnant? When was she wearing a fat pad? When was she off the show for a good reason or a bad reason or whatever? Someone wrote in named Diane Packler. No relation. So my mom emailed me out of the blue, and she's retired now, so this is the sort of stuff that she does. She did like sort of cross-purpose analysis of when Meredith Baxter was pregnant, when she had her twins, and she wrote me this following email. After watching Season 3, Episode 3, which included a discussion of Elise's pregnancy, real and not real, I became curious of the timeline and did some research. Meredith, and I love that she uses her first name, Meredith gave birth to the twins, Peter and Molly, on October 2nd, 1984. She left filming Family Ties when she was 7 months pregnant, putting her departure in August of 1984. She had to leave early since she was carrying twins and required bed rest for real. Meredith returned to filming Family Ties 1 month following the delivery of her twins, November 1984. Elise took to bed rest in the episode airing October 11th, 1984, Love Thy Neighbor, putting filming an estimated 3 months prior to air dates. Elise did not return, per Wikipedia, until episode 16, Philadelphia Story, which aired January 17th, 1985, again putting air dates 3 months following filming. Your questioning of her pregnancy size during subsequent episodes was due to not real. Ta-da.
She was wearing a fat pad when. Mm-hmm.
So you see where I get my research things from.
Yeah, but at least your mother does it about Family Ties and Meredith Baxter Burney. You do it about socialism and economic theories of 1813.
But brilliantly tie it into the show, though, Paul. I don't want to, slight you on that.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But yeah, but no, the analysis is great, and I give it over to any fans who are dogmatic about their timelines or stuff like that. Check it out. See if you agree. If you disagree, let me know. I'll tell my mom that you disagree, and we can get a conversation going.
I like it. Be sure to tweet us. Well, if you are playing at home, we are on Season 3, Episode 12, entitled Help Wanted. The Keaton family is going to get a nanny because Elise is on bed rest. That's correct, right, Paul? She is. MVP's not there.
Right, she was not back until January. This aired before the first of the year. This still aired in December.
God. And you know this.
And also, keeping that in mind, the beginning of January is when Michael J. Fox starts filming Back to the Future. So that was one of the reasons that exactly. So Gary David Goldberg, one of the big reasons he didn't want Michael J. Fox doing Back to the Future was because he had already lost one lead character. He didn't want to lose two. So
you'd have to write every episode about Jennifer and Skippy and Mrs. Oldbeck.
And Susie Farkas.
I would love to see that. That would be an interesting episode.
It would.
When this show pisses me off and I write down, kill me, shoot me, boy, all my really negative remarks, I write in almost a different handwriting. And in this episode, I wrote something really negative at the very top of the episode, and this episode totally recovered. So it's possible for them to get off to a bad start. And what I wrote in at the beginning of this episode, my first note is, with 28 seconds into the episode, and I see what's coming. And so at the beginning of the episode, when they're interviewing what I wrote down as the battle axe for the housekeeper, for the role of the housekeeper, when Stephen and Alex are interviewing, I wrote down, I can clearly see what's coming. I knew that they weren't ever going to hire this incredibly qualified woman. But what I thought they were going to do was just hire Hot. I thought that Hot would create enough conflict for both Steven and Alex that Hot would get them through the episode. And in reality, they didn't really cast Hot. They sort of cast cute and smart and funny and charming and really good with comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's
I gotta love you. I knew this
sorry,
episode
Scott.
was off. No. I knew this episode was off to a good start because it starts off with Mama Fratelli from the Goonies.
Is that who she is? That's Mama Fratelli from the Goonies?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Can I jump in with a story about? Right. The brother that sings opera in Goonies, he came to see us during a performance of Snow White at Disneyland, and he was sitting in the front row, and I looked down, and I was so excited to see him that at the end of the show I gave him a thumbs up, and he gave me a thumbs up back. It was pretty great.
So you really weren't
Nice.
concentrating on stage on what you were supposed to be doing. You were actually looking at individual audience members. I should know that because I know you've dated actual audience members. So I know that
That's true. Paul picked up
there's a
actually
precedent.
audience members from the stage.
Yes. I would have the assistant stage managers go out and get girls' phone numbers from the audience of Snow White.
I still hide my head in shame at that thought.
But
It was
I'll
like
say
you
this.
treated it.
No, wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it was like you treated the show like it was Van Halen.
Mhm. It was a concert, and he could pick girls up.
Yeah.
All I'll say is this. It came from a precedent. I had read in college Harpo Speaks, and he talks about that was one of the things that he would do on the road. And I modeled Dopey incredibly off Harpo. And yeah, exactly. I think he might have been, taken from Harpo. And so that was one of the things, and I was 24 years old, and it all worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we Stephen and Alex, they're interviewing Mama Fratelli. She's hardcore, doesn't want to deal with kids, is a germaphobe, germs cause disease, so they get rid of her. And then they bring in one guy is called the last one that Mallory and Jennifer say, hey, there's one more interviewer, and it's this Guido-looking guy, Max.
Max Schreiber. Or is it
Max
Schneider?
Schreiber.
Yeah.
No, Schneider. It was Schneider. Yeah.
And played by a wonderful character actor who I happen to have an anecdote about now. Bobby Costanzo is his name.
Oh.
I knew him years and years ago back in New York. At one point, he did a national tour of Neil Simon's Last of the Red Hot Lovers with my ex-wife. And I had just met her when she had come off of this tour, so I knew Bobby Costanzo. And I'm not exactly sure, but she may have slept with him.
Whoa! That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Well, I've heard that he's a red hot lover, so.
They cast him just as well as when we meet Karen Nicholson in a few minutes. And not only did he have a kick-ass scene at the beginning, but then they even brought it back at the end. And I was so impressed with the writing on this episode that they actually constructed something with like solid comedic construction.
Yes. There was a setup and a payoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's also put this out there. That night they had a hot audience. The audience was eating everything up that they were doing. The audience gives a round of applause when Max's scene is done. And it's a funny scene. Yeah.
I just thought there was so much.
The whole concept.
Go on. I'm sorry.
Well, I think our delay is kicking in a little bit.
It is.
But I was just saying. Yeah, he's got this. The whole gimmick is that he's this total, machismo Italiano guy, and so he's the last person in the world that should be a nanny, but really wants to be a nanny. And the interview's over when Stephen asks, "Well, these are just standard questions. Have you ever been in prison? 6 years. Like it's no big thing." And then the interview's over and he leaves.
Right. But ultimately, he is a good nanny. That's the other thing. Is like he's this character where he's just like, I did a murder beef for 6 years in prison, but I love sewing, I love to cook, and it's like a nice juxtaposition.
I just thought there was so much good physical comedy in this episode. There was verbal comedy. There was good characterization. It's like all the stuff that you hunger for. And it's like, how did they just pull their shit together for this one episode in this, so far, relatively bad year? And I'll cut them some slack because they don't have Elise to play with. But I really was impressed with this episode. I just thought, wow, they really got it all together.
Absolutely. Well, with Max gone, Steve is exhausted interviewing.
Just lost Scott?
Oh, we just lost Scott.
Sorry, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, hold for editing.
Okay, before you start up. Oh, there you go. Now I can see you too.
Okay, hold for editing here. Well, with Max gone, Steve is exhausted interviewing nanny candidates, so he goes upstairs, and there's a knock on the door, and it's Gina Davis playing this lady named Karen, who has come to interview for the nanny position, and Alex is totally smitten.
Very smitten. I think this might be her second role since Tootsie, maybe?
First of all, can we just discuss her standing in her underwear in the dressing room in Tootsie for just a second?
Yes.
Sure, we brought up Tootsie before here.
I know. All I want to say is Gina Davis standing in her dressing room in her underwear. God bless her. She's a lovely, long-legged creature.
Yeah. It's one of the funniest jokes in Tootsie where Dustin Hoffman's reading lines and he's like, "Well, every time I never something my wife's tips. And just like, it's very funny.
Yeah. So Alex has to interview her, and come to find she has absolutely no qualifications for this position. She has no references. She's never had a nanny position before. She doesn't know how to cook. And she comes across as very sweet. She's honestly answering no to all these questions, but really you get the sense that she feels like she has a shot at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only part of the episode that I thought was really dumb. That she is so stupid, or that she is so not capable at being a nanny or cooking or clean. Like, she has no idea how anything works at all. Now, here's the only thing that I want to put in as like a caveat for that, is that she is a recurring character for like 5 episodes, and I know where things end up, and they give this character so much forethought that I totally forgive it. But it's just so weird that she's not good at anything. It makes you question what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does a person exist and not know this stuff?
I agree.
Right.
So
Will we say she's dumber than Mallory?
Yes.
What were you going to say, Corey? There was something else you were about to say.
I was just going to say, I felt the exact same way. I thought, how can she be so stupid? But they've done this in the show with Mallory and with other characters where they've dumbed them down. They've given them almost the intelligence of an idiot. And then they expect for us, and this somehow or another she's able to recover from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a likability to her, too, as well. So we cut to the kitchen, and this is so Alex is talking to Steven about who he's hired, and Steven doesn't fully know what was said at the interview. He doesn't know how unqualified Karen is. But Gina Davis comes in, and this is the first time we really see what we were talking about earlier. Gina Davis is so incredibly tall, and Michael J. Fox is so short next to each other, and it's just hilarious to watch.
It's just a great sign.
The other thing about Michael J. Fox... Oh, sure. The other thing about Michael J. Fox is there's some stuff with his outfit. He has no tie on, which I have 3 question marks that I'm so shocked. His sleeves are rolled up. His shirt is buttoned even lower than mine is now, and he's wearing a belt.
Wow. My little boy is growing up.
I think
Paul, was that the
doing all of this
inspiration for how you're dressed today?
Yeah, I'm not going to say no. Wait, belt. Let me roll up my sleeves. There we go.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen. You look wonderful this evening.
All right. So now so they sit down at this table. The table at the kitchen table. The table's a little bit wobbly. At first, I thought it was an ad lib. It happened so quickly, but it comes back into the script. But this is where Stephen finds out that Karen has no qualifications, and Michael J. Fox has this great line of, well, what really is experience? I mean, Jean-Paul Sartre said, isn't living just the experience enough?
Mm-hmm.
Which I immediately thought of Paul Packler.
I did too. When he quoted Jean-Paul Sartre, I thought of Packler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie. I spent most of the day at work today reading about Jean-Paul Sartre.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you help write a play where you were going to be Jean-Paul Sartre?
Well, that's the thing. We're getting Chris Gilbert, our mutual friend, he wanted to get back into doing rewrites on it. So we're going to be doing another pass at this play that we wrote together 10 years ago called A Night at the Agora. And so we're getting back into it, and we're starting it more or less from square one, just gutting the script, finding what works and what doesn't. And we really want to plug in, because there's a lot of philosophy. It's a comedy about stand-up comedy. And there's like Aristotle and Sartre are in it. And so I was doing a lot of reading about Sartre today, and it's just ridiculous that I totally forgot that they talk about it in this episode. But yeah, Sartre does say that experience is the most important thing.
Yeah, because it's a throwback joke that they use later on. But Karen's really, really excited to get started with her job, and Stephen says, "Well, my wife's about to wake up, and she'd love a breakfast, and she loves eggs, and she would like them boiled." And so Karen, this is where the stupidity of Karen's a little unbelievable, is she doesn't know where eggs would be in that kitchen.
Right. Which, by the way,
Mhm.
Henry knows where eggs would be in the kitchen.
And grabs them several times and has
Exactly.
broken many eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought the best thing, though, is when she goes, yes, there are eggs in there, but there's also a delicious pitcher of orange juice just sitting in that refrigerator, waiting for the Keatons to drink.
Now, Corey,
I didn't notice the orange
brings
juice.
me up to
Yeah.
this.
You didn't notice the orange juice?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott.
Okay. I was gonna say I wasn't there for the great orange juice Tang debate, but I have a theory.
Yes.
Now, I think, as much as it pains me to say this, because I want to believe with all my heart that it's orange juice, from a production standpoint, if that refrigerator is just a prop and not working, if they put real orange juice in there, it is going to get warm probably. And and as acidic as orange juice is, no one is going to want to drink warm orange juice, which leads me that Corey might actually have a good idea that it might be Tang, which breaks my heart.
Yes.
You are both Judases. You are orange.
I don't want it to be true, Paul.
No. I know. I just known my fair share of prop men in time, and I know that they adhere to very strict budgets. And orange juice is substantially more expensive than powdered orange drink mix.
Yeah.
Thank God it's Friday, so I can go out drinking after this episode, because I am livid right now.
Have a vodka and Tang. It's delicious.
You motherfucker!
No, it's not. So, but back to Karen preparing the breakfast. She doesn't know how to boil an egg. She cracks the egg in there and then offers to tape it back, and then throws out all the eggs onto the floor accidentally.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the taping the egg joke was pretty funny. I like that.
I thought it was good too. Yep.
It was a good bit. Yeah, it was really funny. Just how they threw it back. It's like it really worked with Michael Gross's delivery of, "I'll get that tape. I'll have mine with tape."
Mm-hmm.
It was really.
And the scene ends with her bringing salad over, and she like throws it on them. And I really thought, because right after this is where they go to the commercial break, I really thought like Jennifer was going to get a line, or Alex or Mallory being like, well, at least the salad's tossed. And
exactly. Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah. I thought it was an easy
line.
punchline for going into a commercial, but they didn't do it. So that was weird. But yeah, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come right back. We'll be right back. And we're back.
And we didn't even leave with a clever line, Paul.
No. Nope. Just like the episode itself.
We're staying true to the episode. And we're in the kitchen the next day. It's been probably it looks like it's been a couple days, and Karen is still doing bad. She's broken just about everything in the house. What she breaks, she fixes, but she keeps breaking more. So as Steven says, well, we're not losing any ground. Are we there?
Are we still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, audience, we've been on a little bit of delay for some reason, so I never know.
Yeah.
But this bit becomes really funny because it keeps getting heightened. I liked it.
Which, the short table joke?
Well, the short table joke, and then it keeps growing into like the iron presses on their shirts.
Mm-hmm. I thought that they kept on spinning
the
the
faucet
show up.
breaking the ice machine.
Absolutely, I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
Very good comedy. They had the short pants.
And I love the line of, yeah.
Jennifer got in a really good slam on
We'll give them
Alex.
to
with the
Alex.
short pants. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jennifer got in a good line against
Yeah.
Mallory, too. I forget what that was, too. She had a good... I just wrote down Jennifer got Mallory pretty good, which helps nobody. Me not
She
remembering.
did. I forget the line. Paul, do you remember? I can't either.
No. The one that I was
overall-
looking at that I thought was a really great bit was that she talked about that Alex and Steven are alone in the kitchen, and they're, all this shtick is happening, and that the toaster had been broken, and that it was like jerry-rigged over in the corner up on its side, and all of a sudden the toast shoots out at Alex and Steven, and then later Steven goes, "Alex, if these had been Pop-Tarts, we'd be dead." And it was
I
amazing.
love that.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Very funny.
Yeah, and it's that thing that happens occasionally with Family Ties where they do sort of like absurdist type humor, and it's always my favorite when they have a joke like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another good line where it's like, "Look around you, Alex. We can't look around you, Alex." And if I goes, "I'm afraid to, Dad."
Yeah.
They're like soldiers in a foxhole who've been like through a war, watching this tornado rip their house apart for days, a week.
Yeah. I mean, the place is a disaster, but the girls and Alex and everyone, except right now for Steven, love Karen. Like, she has taken the girls out to a museum. She's going to go up and tell Elise what kind of great day they had and everything. And that's when Steven and Alex basically come to terms with the fact that they have to fire Karen. And they'll take her to dinner. In between pass the salt and check please, they're going to fire her.
Now, the minute they said the expression, "we're going to take her to dinner," what was the first thing that occurred? Bring in the Guidos set!
Of course! Because look, if
There
you're
are
gonna
no
go out,
other restaurants in Columbus, Ohio.
Absolutely none, just Guidos.
Guido is making a killing. And who do we see at Guido's?
Who's the waiter? Max the nanny.
Max the nanny. He got a job as a busser. Good for Max. And he gets a little upset, a little bitter that Karen was hired over him, and he asks her, "Well, what did you wear?" "Oh, my nice blue dress and heels." And Max goes, "Heels!"
Heels, that was it! Damn it!
Oh.
Heels!
And they said, and he's like, "They were really nice to hire me because I didn't have that much experience." And Max goes, "Well, we all know what Sartre says about experience."
Yeah, a man after my own heart.
Like, it was at that point I was like, who are these writers and where have they been?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just it's a different feel to the episode. It's like, I forget what the last episode that we had that was like this, but it's just so much fun that you're just like, oh, it was the hotel episode where they turned the house into a bed and breakfast. It was just like, whoa, this feels like a totally different show.
Yeah, absolutely. And before Steven and Alex can fire Karen, she makes a confession and says, "I know I'm not good at this job. I know I'm a bad nanny." And she keeps beating herself up, and Steven gets emotional. It's like, "No, Karen, don't beat yourself up like that. Stay."
I love that she starts her like confession by saying, You're such nice people. You've taken me to this wonderful medium-priced restaurant." I thought that was amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, it's just such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, and there was this, and after Steven says, no, Karen, stay, there's like this zoom into a close-up of Michael Gross, where it's like this realization, it's like, I've been reeled in too. I love Karen too.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, she gets emotional and leaves. She's quit the job. She can't do it because she knows she's not good at it. And we cut back to the kitchen, and the girls are upset that Karen won't be coming back, and Michael J. Fox explains, we wouldn't fire her. We tried to fire her, but she quit.
Good. Yeah. And then the real physical, when Karen finally shows back up at the back door, and Michael J. Fox is over his overly done hug is almost hanging on her.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
They were milking that height difference.
Yeah. It was funny because what happens is Karen comes in, she's like, hey, everybody, and they're all so excited to see her. They all go in for a hug, and it's this big huddle, and then everyone leaves, but Alex is still hugging her, and it's very nice.
It's also like a hang in there, too. Like it's a hug and a hang.
Yeah.
And before that, though, I like how, like, they're all remembering Karen, like she passed away.
It was like a memorial service, yes.
Yeah, remember the stove she didn't know how to use?
Oh, that was great when she almost killed us with the Pop-Tarts.
But of course, because it's family ties, Karen comes back and she says, you know, I've been running away from things all my life, and I really want to stick this out. I really want to be your nanny and not walk away from this. And they're all extremely happy. Which made me kind of excited. Like, I hope to see some more. There are going to be more episodes with Karen, right, Paul?
Yeah, I think she's in 5 episodes in a row.
Okay.
Oh, they certainly left it like she was going to be recurring for a little while.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, Gina Davis is...
No.
Henry!
I just got a hug from Henry. Henry's joined us.
Oh.
I gotta say this for viewers. I'm gonna try to get video of this, but every time when we record, I play the podcast in the car and the theme song comes on, he sings along to it, and he's like, "Is that Family Ties?"
Oh my God!
We get a sha-la-la-la out of him?
He gets a sha-la-la-la. We do? Yeah, he can sing the whole song. So I'm trying, but whenever I turn the camera on him, he stops. So I'm trying to secretly do it. So we'll try to tweet it soon if I can get a video of it.
That's amazing! Oh, I hope you get it.
I'm trying.
But yeah, so that's the episode. I would just say Gina Davis is great. I just love, she, like Tom Hanks, you know, her role in this episode isn't much. She doesn't do a ton, but just imbues it with charisma and humor, and she knows how to make things work. She's just a lot of fun. It's good to have her in the episodes.
She is, and there's and I think it's because she doesn't do too much that it makes it kind of work. There's something about she's just not acknowledging any of the bad stuff she's, you know, how horrible she is, and just going through it. There's something about it that makes it work really, really well.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Corey?
I was just saying, I just thought that she's adorable. I've always liked Gina Davis. I think she handles comedy really, really well. The only sitcom I can remember her being a regular on was that wonderful Jay Tarsis, oddly enough, sitcom, Buffalo Bill. With Daphne Coleman and Gina Davis. And she was wonderful on it as a foil for Daphne Coleman when he was at the height of his nastiness. Once again, and so she and Daphne Coleman worked together on Tootsie and on Buffalo Bill.
Oh wow. What was Buffalo Bill? What is that, the one where he's like the newscaster?
Yes, exactly. Half season.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And then Gina Davis goes on to win the Oscar for Accidental Tourist.
Yep. She was, I mean, when you think of that career of hers, I mean, she's obviously put it aside to raise her children, even though her children are probably 30 years old now. But she was a huge star. That Thelma and Louise, Beetlejuice, Accidental Tourist. that big pirate movie that she did when she was married to that dude for a while.
Right.
Remy Harlan, Cutthroat Island.
That's it. And it was like she was like one of the biggest female movie stars for a while, getting repeated Oscar nominations.
Yeah, she would kind of be on par today, kind of like Angelina Jolie as far as name, I guess.
She would.
Yeah,
she would be.
Yeah,
Huge.
yeah. She was. She was in everything during the '80s and early '90s.
And just seeing her in this just shows you that when you know, she's such a good actress and she brings so much to the table in terms of her characterization. And that height thing was just genius on the casting director's part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's also great in the movie Hero, the one with Dustin Hoffman and Andy Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
She plays the hard-bitten news reporter, and just really good performance in that.
I love that movie. That's an underrated movie.
No.
Like, Dustin Hoffman's really, really good in that movie. Well, guys, it's so nice that we finally have a good episode.
Yeah. Look forward to more of Karen.
Yeah, like I feel like a breath of fresh air has gotten into our podcast now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen. Well, for questions and comments, be sure to email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. And for all our updates, you can follow us at Qtft at on Twitter. We're also on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Corpep.
And definitely be sure to like our Facebook page. It helps so much. And also rate and review us on iTunes. We get a lot more recognition that way. We want to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics, which probably I think by now is Fanboy Press. A very big, exciting
No, it would be a Fanbase Press.
Fanbase Press. Fanbase Press.
I
Fanboy
think
Comics.
it's actually going to be next week. But...
Oh.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. Nope.
Sorry.
This delay sucks.
It really. I don't know how it's happening. I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard not to jump in.
No, it's okay. I'm looking on my end too. But anyway, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics, which will soon be Fanbase Press. Lots of exciting things. They're going to be helping a lot of creative control for comic creators. Lots of more content coming, so be sure to check them out. She's the producer and host of our show. We also want to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the theme song without us. Be sure to check out Perry's music at perryadams.net. We also want to thank
.com.
.com. Is it .com or .net?
Yeah.
.net.
.com.
.com. perryadams.com. You think I would be saying it right after all these years? I'm going slower. No. I'm going slower like you did, Paul. Because I was impressed.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to... No! Oh, gosh. The wheels are falling. I'm sorry. Look how red I am.
No, I'll tell you this. I was so impressed with how you did the outgoing credits when I heard the you and Corey episode that I was like, I need to try that. I need to slow down.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm sorry.
I mean that as a compliment. But Brian Dillon is the president of Fanboy Comics, soon to be Fanboy Press. He also edits our show and has done our artwork. We also like to thank Sean Foster, Fanboy Comics, soon to be Fanbase Press, graphic designer who designed our logo. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.